live, and thank you so much for joining me for this little bit of learning. Excuse me. So today, this little bit of learning, this highlight will be regarding Mr. Ronald McNair. And here we go. Physicist Ronald Erwin McNair was America's second black astronaut and one of 7 crew members killed in the Space Shuttle Challenger explosion on January 28, 1986. The flight would have been his second voyage into space. Although his death and those of his crew members were a national tragedy, this is not what distinguished him. McNair exemplified a life that knew no obstacles. He excelled academically despite the racial discrimination he experienced growing up in the South during the 1950s and 60s. Also, he wanted to check out a book in 1959, and he was allowed to, officially desegregating that library. And that library is now named after Dr. McNair. Later in 1984, he broke the bonds of Earth as a scientist aboard the 10th Space Shuttle mission. McNair was born October 12, 1950, in Lake City, South Carolina. His mother taught elementary school, and his father was an automobile mechanic. In 1971, McNair received a bachelor's degree in physics from North Carolina A&T State University, graduating magna cum laude. At 26, he received his doctorate in physics from the Massachusetts Institution of Technology, commonly referred to as MIT. Dr. McNair became a recognized expert in laser physics while on staff at Hughes Research Facility. His academic and professional achievements were stellar. A Presidential Scholar, Ford Foundation Fellow, Omega Psi Phi, or Phi, Scholar of the Year. He was also named Distinguished National Scientist by the National Society of Black Professional Engineers. He developed an expertise in laser physics while working on the Hughes Research Laboratory in Malibu, California. In 1978, NASA selected him for the astronaut corps. To commemorate his lifetime of accomplishments, the U.S. Department of Education, with funding for Congress, established the Ronald E. McNair Post-Baccalaureate Achievement Program to encourage minority and low-income, first-generational college students to enroll in graduate studies and acquire a doctorate degree. There is also a story clip that I will put here as a card, and it's called Eye on the Stars. It's an animated video about Ronald McNair's childhood in segregated Lake City, South Carolina. I also want to mention that Dr. McNair was also a accomplished saxophonist. He loved music, and he loved martial arts. And I will end this with a tidbit here. A presidential commission determined that the explosion to be caused by the failure of a rubber O-ring seal on one of the Challenger's solid rocket boosters, allowing hot gases to leak into the hydrogen fuel tank. McNair's wife later won a settlement against the manufacturer, Morton Thiokol. In 2004, McNair and the rest of his Challenger crew members were posthumously honored with Congressional Space Medal of Honor by then-President George W. Bush. McNair's accomplishments also influenced the following generations of African Americans who would learn to dream big. His admirers include astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, another world-renowned intellect who found fulfillment via contact sports as a high school wrestler. An astronaut who was also a black belt in karate, served as an affirmation that an athletic hobby need not interfere with academic pursuits. So I just want to thank you for joining me for this episode here, this little bit of learning here for Dr. Ronald McNair, who embodied excellence, who overcame a lot of obstacles to find his path. And even though his life was cut tragically short in 1986, it was the dash in the middle that counted. Have a great day, and I will see you next time for Movie Madness next week. See you soon.